Hi, I'm Amy Corr, Chief Brokerage Officer of At Properties Christie's International Real Estate, and you're listening to Corr Values, a podcast where we talk about real estate and real life. As someone who's worn many hats, agent, managing broker, coach, executive, and mom, I know the hustle is real. So I'm sitting down with industry leaders and entrepreneurs to uncover the stories, strategies, and values that fuel real success. From being the CEO of your own business to figuring out how to show up for your people, we're covering it all. Today's guest is the Chief Investment Officer of Lakeview Investment Group and co-owner of Chicago's legendary hot dog stand, the Wiener Circle. As an entrepreneur, investor, board member, and creative mind behind one of the city's most iconic local brands, Ari Levy wears a lot of hats. In this episode, we talk about the power of branding, guerrilla marketing, and entrepreneurship. We also get into Ari's investing mindset and how he approaches finding opportunities where others aren't looking. Don't miss Rapid Fire, where we revisit some memorable stories from the Wiener Circle and get to know more about Ari. So let's dive in. Hey, Ari, thank you so much for joining me on Corr Values. I'm really excited to have you here, and I think we have a lot of good stuff to talk about today.
Thank you for having me. Happy to be part of this.
Yeah. Anything crazy happened in the last couple of days that you want to share?
I had a colonoscopy yesterday.
All right. So are you feeling very clear-headed then?
So I think the drugs are starting to wear off, but I'm a little woozy today.
Uh-oh. This is going to be a really good conversation.
Oh, yeah.
I love it.
God knows what I'm going to say.
All right. Well, let's start with a little bit about you. I know you grew up in Lincoln Park. Let me ask you this. Did you go to the Wiener Circle as a kid? And do you have any early memories of the hot dog stand?
Yeah, I grew up like 2 blocks from there, went quite regularly. The place opened in 1983. I was born in 1979. So from a very young age, I'm guessing as young as when I was like 7 or 8, when different era, kids were allowed to walk the streets. I walked to school myself then, around 8 or 9. I have a brother who actually was in Peter's class growing up. He's 10 years older than me, and he used to pay me $1 to go get him hot dogs. So I would walk the 2 blocks and do my brotherly duty and get him a hot dog and myself one as well.
I love it. So where did you fall in line in your family of kids?
Number 4.
You're number 4?
Four boys. All
4
boys.
boys.
Yeah.
Okay. So I was number 5 out
Okay.
of 6. So I can appreciate was being paid to go do something for an elder sibling, and you never said no.
No, it was better than getting beat up, which was the alternative.
Exactly.
So.
Exactly. I don't think that happens anymore, but there was a clear fear of actually getting your butt kicked if you didn't.
Oh yeah,
follow.
I did for sure.
Yeah. The good old days of the 80s, right?
Mm-hmm.
I love it. All right. So let's also talk a little bit about what you do for a living. You actually have a lot of interesting things that you do, but you're a quantitative trader with a degree from Stanford. How did you come to own such a disreputable establishment as this? Like, what made you kind of decide, this is a great thing for me to acquire, this Wiener Circle hot dog stand? Tell me the story about it.
Sure. Yeah. So a friend of mine from growing up knew the old owners. They had made an announcement via the newspapers that they wanted to sell. Sadly, one of the former 2 owners had colon cancer and was dying at the time. The other one didn't want to keep it. A friend of mine from growing up was like, "Hey, we should get in on this." And I met with them and just note that my day job is in the financial markets, quantitative trading, algorithmic trading, some long-term investing, activist investing, and I always like to use the right brain in addition to the left brain, which is my day job. Mm-hmm. And so always loved the Wiener Circle. I love it for the food first and foremost, but I love the comedy. It's a very unique brand, as you know, and its ability to say things that other people can't, to go places other people can't. I'm not necessarily talking about myself, although I do come up with a lot of the signs, but the staff, mostly the ladies that work there, have license to say things that, that others can't.
Many of us wish we could say.
Yeah, that many of us wish we could say.
Yeah.
It certainly goes to the line sometimes, maybe even crosses it, but there's just something kind of healthy about it, and a place where people of all walks of life, everything from kids to construction workers to people in suits to real estate brokers,
And people coming
walk
from
in
out
there.
of town.
People, a lot of tourists
Yeah.
for sure,
Yeah.
particularly of late. So, it's a great melting pot of the world.
Was there any fear that you and your partners had in taking it over? Like, what if this turns into a bust? What if we can't help it continue to live up to its reputation? Was there anything that you felt going into it was really important to continue or think about to make sure that it continued to be as successful as it is today?
Definitely plenty of risk in the place. I don't tell our insurance brokers, but they have to price the insurance a little bit differently.
Yeah.
And definitely some fear. There's always fear, but I pride myself in facing fear. And I thought that the reward outweighed the risk. It was gonna be a fun side project and I love kind of shenanigans and coming up with creative things and having license to say things that other people can't. So we're like, let's do it.
Yeah. What a cool format. And sometimes it's like, maybe you don't overthink things too much, right? You see a cool opportunity and you sort of say, let's go for it. I also think that, that sometimes is the heart of an entrepreneur, being willing to jump into something, even if there is a bit of unknown.
For sure.
Yeah. So what started out obviously just as a hot dog stand, it's become one of the strongest local brands in Chicago. I moved to Chicago in 97. And I remember it was one of the first things that I was told, you got to go to the Wiener Circle. It's got a huge marquee, which is a really big part of it. And some of the all-time great quips that we see on the board, like I loved this one. We got a new Mayor Johnson when Chicago Bears coach Ben Johnson took off his shirt to show everyone. And everybody got free hot dogs, right? That came in that day. And then I also liked for Pride Month, we proudly support dog on dog and bun on bun. So how does this marquee, do you feel, support the brand of the Wiener Circle?
It's another way to express our voice. I mean, people know it for the staff's service model, how you are served, although it's different by day and night and depending on who wants it, who doesn't. If it's lunchtime crowd or the late night, more drunken crowd. The marquee is just kind of another expression of being able to say whatever we want. Sometimes it gets pretty edgy. Sometimes it uses words that we have to put an asterisk in to make it a little more politically correct, but it definitely gets politically incorrect at times. Sometimes it's been political itself. People think we've just been like the liberal voice when we've roasted the left as well. Some of my favorite signs are actually that when Elizabeth Warren was notoriously saying that she was of Native American heritage, when it turned out she had 5%, we said Elizabeth Warren is 1/8 Polish sausage. We had a Hunter Biden one that I can't even repeat, but we have certainly had our fun with Trump. The best ones though are away from politics, I think, and we've kind of shied away from politics of late. It's 15 characters by 4 lines. Sometimes I dream in that format. I wake up and write down a note or two, but it's collaborative. It's not just me for sure. I've come up with a bunch of them, but there's no bad way to source an idea. We've got like our own whack pack of people that are involved. My good friend Brad Morris, who's part owner, was on the main stage at Second City. He's come up with some great ones. All sorts of different people have contributed, and we like to make sure it's kind of a voice of the community, often expressing things that other people are feeling that can be succinctly expressed on a sign.
Yeah. All right, so the marquee obviously is something that people watch for, and especially now with Instagram and social media, it's probably gotten an even larger life of its own because people are taking pictures of it, and the message spreads. But, you also are really known for a lot of your guerrilla marketing tactics. I think you probably do it better than almost anybody in Chicago. I know there was the shirtless Ben Johnson giveaway, which I think packed the place the day that happened. Hundreds of people were packed also on Clark Street when you had DJ Marshmello perform up on the roof. How do you approach or come up with these ideas for guerrilla marketing? Is it sometimes where an opportunity presents itself and you say, hey, this would be great? Or, do you sort of seek out things that are interesting to you or to people in the community? What's your angle?
We're very open-minded. There's kind of no rules. We start by throwing a bunch of ideas out there. Some of them Someone part of our Whack Pack team says them, and we're like, I don't think we could do that. Sometimes we find ourselves still doing it, even though we think maybe we shouldn't. Sometimes we're like, that definitely crosses the line and we shouldn't do it. Something like the DJ Marshmallow thing originated from the biggest concert promotion company. I won't name names because they didn't want to be named, but people can probably figure that out who that is, came to us and said, we want to put a famous DJ on your roof. And so we're a hot dog stand. Let's make sure the roof can support that kind of weight. It certainly couldn't. The condition that the store was in when we purchased it could not have. Thankfully, we had done a renovation. We have a whole back patio and event space that's starting to do a lot of business back there, seasonally mostly. But thankfully, when they did an engineering study, the roof could support it. We then had to work with the various city agencies, the fire department, et cetera, make sure we could make it work. We certainly slowed down traffic that day. We'd like to do another concert, but we need to have more security and probably shut down the street. But that's, as an example, it's like, yes, let's, whatever, awesome. Consider it sort of a set, and that we can push the envelope of what it could be. Concert venue, pop-up concert venue, open to the street, free for the public. Kind of fit that part of it, but we've had all sorts of crazy things. We had actually Domu, the apartment rental company, the founder of that approached us and said, I want to have a famous BMX biker. We'd like to build a half pipe, ask for forgiveness later, not get a permit to do this. Fine. Build a half pipe. Or is it called a half pipe? I guess a quarter pipe into another quarter pipe, whatever that's called.
On your roof?
No, right in front of the store on Clark Street, and this famous BMX number 8 in the world or whatever he was. Do various tricks launching off the place. We have some incredible shots of him with the sign in the background. Video. He did a flip with a hot dog in his mouth.
Oh wow!
And that kind of fulfilled that. I'm an alumni of Stanford, and our band is known for its irreverence and doing all sorts of wacky, crazy things. During my time there, I think they were banned from Notre Dame for doing something I can't even repeat. And so I've always thought, and I have a bunch of friends that were the mascot of the tree. And so I always try to channel that and kind of push the envelope and do smart guerrilla marketing things that are fun, so that's part of it.
Yeah. Anything that we should watch out for this summer?
Well,
that you can tell us? Yeah,
we are launching our own podcast, actually,
okay.
With a little bit of a different format. Some of it is going to look like, your traditional podcast format like this, but where at the end the interviewee auditions for a shift at the Wiener Circle, and they end up working a shift as Poochie's trainee.
Oh, that's so great.
So, and the thought is that the podcast itself, people can express things that they might not otherwise be able to express on your regular format.
On something like this, you mean, Ari? We can't
like
express quite as much as we want
on this?
They can say
things, use language, whatever they want.
We can bleep out.
we had Ed Sheeran come see us and put on an apron, work a shift. We've famously had Jack McBrayer from 30 Rock and other things. Conan sent him, and he put on an apron. And so it's something we can uniquely do that other people can't.
Yeah.
And it's like the unexpected nature of walking into a hot dog stand and then having Ed Sheeran be the person making you the hot dog.
Yep. You definitely know, you don't know what's going to happen when you show up.
That is for sure.
Yeah.
And that's one of the charms of the place.
Yeah. What a fun and like really fresh platform, right? To kind of do cool, innovative things. And I think, just attract, quite honestly, so many generations and so many walks of life. So I think that's kind of a cool thing too.
For sure.
Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about the family that you come from. Larry Levy, your dad, is one of the great entrepreneurs, and he really probably, although quietly, really helped elevate the profile of Chicago, from being just what was considered an industrial city to really becoming a world-class city. Chicago, as far as, Chicago restaurants, entertainment. I know he owns several restaurants. Spiaggia is one of them. He also developed a lot of high-profile office buildings, and another cool thing thing is that he pretty much invented the business of stadium skybox catering. And I know he's still very involved in philanthropy and mentoring younger generations. What are some important lessons that you feel like you learned from your dad?
Yeah, I'm very close with my dad. He's a great guy. He taught me a lot. I learned a lot by osmosis at the dinner table. Well, he was this extremely busy entrepreneur. He always prioritized me and my brothers, and was home for dinner often, rather was taking us to restaurants all the time.
Right.
R.I.P. Spiaggia. It was a great restaurant from a different era, but I think he realized that going into food service in stadiums and convention centers and other institutional venues was a much better business than the restaurant business itself. So as an entrepreneur, solving that problem in an otherwise just difficult business of food service was, part of his genius. I think he's always had really good foresight when it comes to real estate. He's had a concurrent career, and even before going into food service in real estate development, and has just a great vision for where the next neighborhood is going to be. Sometimes he's early, frankly. So, for example, when I was young, single digits, he bought the land at Lake and Canal, which is now 444 West Lake. That's where my office is. Yeah. Where the river turns, so you've got that beautiful view down eastward down the river. It was a train track going over it with a parking lot and all sorts of complicated engineering, and that site in and of itself is sort of a microcosm for the economy, scheduled to be built a bunch of different times, a few times at least, in the financial crisis and the commercial crisis of the 90s. So, these really had, but finally it's here. It's a beautiful building. It's one of the more recent buildings, and it's got that iconic sculpture in front. He's got a love of art and put that sculpture there, Santiago Calatrava. And then, when I was a kid, when I was really little, he bought the land at Oak in Michigan, which became 1 Mag Mile.
Yes.
That in and of itself was also a microcosm of the time. Interest rates went to 20%. He had a floating rate debt, apparently. So my mom tells me, and my dad, that he was up sweating a lot of the night thinking about that. But, he's just a very, very positive, inspirational guy who always says regarding, work, like, tell people what you do, and if there's some connection, good things will come of it. Or, you might find a way to do business with someone. He's very philanthropic, gives back to all sorts of different local and other charities, and just a great guy, just a very inspirational guy who's been inspiring for me and I think others.
That's so cool. I love hearing just you talk about him and aspects of what he has done. And, I think the neatest thing, and I think, many successful entrepreneurs, he probably had so many people tell him, that's the craziest idea, Larry. Like, you're never going to be able to do that. And I think that's the power of being an entrepreneur, is being willing to be so confident, not even if you will be successful, but in the idea of, like, I got to give this a shot. And it seems to me like that was a lot of his mindset. It also sounds like he has a positive, like, glass half full, perspective. So, I just think that that's
sometimes
cool.
Too glass half full. I mean, sometimes I'm a bit of a realist and we disagree on things, but he's willed things into existence. He would say with the food service at the stadiums, like, he did that as much in part because he was a sports fan and music fan. My grandpa was in the music business and the birth of rock and roll. We both love music a lot, and so it's like, I can get tickets to Cubs and White Sox and also great concerts, not even thinking as much about the fact that people were just used to popcorn and peanuts, and they could now get a filet mignon in the skyboxes, and that a lot of these new stadiums were getting built for the premium seating.
Yeah, it's amazing. I was just at the White Sox game a couple weeks ago in a skybox. I was thinking of you guys because I knew we were going to be meeting. All right, so let's talk a little bit about Chicago here, which is, I know a couple of years ago, the message on the marquee for the Wiener Circle said, STFU, hopefully you all know what that means, about Chicago. And, I know there were a lot of armchair critics about our city. Taking stock of Chicago, what's your outlook moving forward? How do you think we're doing? And is there anything you think we need to be doing better?
I mean, Chicago is certainly something that I got a glass half full approach to. I think it's the greatest city in the world, one of the most underrated cities in the world. We have 3 or 4 months of below freezing weather. And other than that, there's nothing, very little that I have to say that's bad about it. Sure, We have crime stats that are, honestly, I think get misinterpreted and are per capita not that dissimilar from a lot of other cities. But that seems to have gotten a lot better. Chicago feels a lot better to me right now. To your point before about it being a seller's market, I think there's a lot of buyers and inflows of people. We certainly lost some corporations and probably could do a better job of keeping those corporations. But it's a very desirable city to live in. It's much more affordable than your other major cities. It's very nice people, but not too nice. We got a little edge, just like the Wiener Circle. If you need it, we'll show that to you.
Yeah.
But we'll certainly like lead with that Midwest kindness. It's a great cultural town, whether it be sports or music or museums or whatever. I mean, I just think it's the greatest city. And I think things are looking up.
Well, I think that's great. I appreciate, because I too think that there are great things ahead for Chicago. This is a California girl who moved here 27 years ago, and really kind of never looked back, for a lot of the same reasons that you've talked about. So I'm glad that you're thinking great things ahead, because I agree. So, all right, Ari, this is the time. Are you ready for this? So this is a great interview that we had, but I always end with my rapid fire. Let's get down and dirty about a couple of the things that we may not necessarily know about you. So this is going to be hot dogs and hot takes with Ari. You ready?
Yep.
All right. Question number 1. Have you ever, and I was told I couldn't, have you ever put ketchup on a hot dog?
I think as a child, I must have done it once or twice. I used to like ketchup a lot more, but the secret to ketchup is there's just a lot of sugar in it.
Yeah.
It's more of a French fry ingredient. So no, yeah. I have one of my daughters will do it sometimes. And until you're 10 years old, you're kind of exempt from the.
Got it. So she doesn't get in trouble yet?
No, but.
Soon?
She actually is 10 now, so I'm going to make sure that the staff starts giving her
mustard
some
and relish.
Yeah,
mustard and relish.
Exactly.
Yes. Who's one person, dead or alive, you'd love to see walk into the Wiener Circle and buy a hot dog?
I mean, there's tons, but given the engagement that he had with us this season, I would say Ben Johnson.
Yes, love him.
Huge, smart, analytical mind who I think has changed the face of the Bears.
Yes.
People don't realize, or I think a lot of people don't know that he is a double major in computer science and math from UNC. Super smart guy, but also like a charismatic leader.
He speaks nerd like
absolutely.
Like me?
I would love to have him come into our podcast so that we could talk nerdy with him, and then get a little edgy with Poochie and see if he'd work behind the counter.
Yes, and we need to keep the Bears in Chicago.
Yes.
All right, what do you order when you go to Wiener Circle?
So perhaps embarrassingly, I'm not a vegetarian, but I actually really like the way that a Beyond Burger tastes. Oh, mm-hmm. So I'll get that with mustard and grilled onions.
Okay.
And like extra mustard and grilled onions.
Okay.
That's me. A lot of people don't like that. I'll do the same condiments on a Polish sometimes, like a mustard and grilled onions. That's a good way to go. The classic Chicago style hot dog, charred. It's got to be charred.
Okay.
Our char grill is really a differentiating factor. I think you could get a charred dog at a lot of places.
Yep.
But when I bought it from the old owner, they're like, number one thing is the grill. It's a local Chicago grill company that we get it from. I don't even want to say the name because I don't want to.
And how much has been on that grill for years? Probably.
That's a little the extra love that people get with it.
Right. It's lots of years in there. That's part of the char, right? Other than the Wiener Circle, what's your favorite Chicago restaurant?
There's so many. For this time of year, as the weather's getting nicer, I'm definitely partial to Piccolo Sonio. I think that the back deck is a great setting, but I love the food, the Italian food, the pasta, the other entrees. I particularly like Bar Mar, Jose Andres' spot that I think the Gibson's Group manages. But I like it all. I like a lot of the lettuce entertaining places, one-off hospitality, incredible food. Brendan Sodakov, a lot of, Hog Salt.
There's a lot of good
Boca
stuff,
Group.
And there's a lot of new things that are opening now
sure.
too. It's wild. There's plenty to do and plenty to eat in Chicago. That's for sure. What's the best insult you ever had shouted from the kitchen?
Mostly things that I can't say.
Okay, a lot of bleeping.
There is a video that went viral. I got many hundreds of thousands of likes on TikTok where, I don't know if you know this, like, sort of influencer David Dobrik. He brought his crew there, and this one guy was there. One of our staff members, Jordan Brooks, told the guy that he was shaped like a wisdom tooth. was kind of clever, I thought. But honestly, all the other stuff, I mean, on
She's
a
like a
At Properties
wizard.
podcast, I don't think I can.
Okay.
I don't think I can
All
say it.
right. All right. We'll just have to look at it on social.
You guys just have to go there for yourselves
Yes,
to get that experience. And
experience it. All right. Does Poochie have a nickname for you? And if so, what is it? Or can you tell us?
that also, I'm not sure I can repeat. I mean, generally, she just call me boss, which is funny because, like, she's the boss. In fact, she calls herself HBIC, which is sometimes head bitch in charge, sometimes it's heavy bitch in charge. She's the first one to say it. But she calls me other things that I can't repeat. And she talks more smack to me than anyone else, deservedly, because I like to be talked to that way sometimes.
Is there a funny story or two that you can share about Wiener Circle? Like, I was thinking, have you ever had somebody come in and not know what Wiener Circle is all about? And like, have you made somebody cry, or did they start swearing back because they didn't realize what they were walking into?
We get a lot of 1-star Google reviews, which I think are hilarious.
Oh, okay.
Brings down the curve. So, people will write, worst service I've ever had. What's wrong with those people? So forth. But
Phyllis from Cleveland. Phyllis, come on. You're supposed to know.
Phyllis, like, do your research. Come on.
Yeah.
I mean, I try not to acknowledge it, but I've tried to get them to stop it, frankly. But the chocolate shake is always like a surprise for people. It was like, you got a $20 chocolate shake, and it's like a thing for Chicagoans to take folks from out of town and be like, you got to, get the hot dog, but you got to try the chocolate shake.
So
Poochie claims she's got a trademark on it. I don't think
is
that's
it just that
true.
it's really expensive, or what's in it? Like, is it just
you don't
like
know?
lead? No.
Oh, I can't even say.
Okay.
I'm not going to repeat it. You just have to go there and
So
experience
I got to find out.
As an out-of-towner from California, you're going to have to go experience it.
I am. I've never had the chocolate milkshake.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's $20.
It's
Make
$20.
sure you bring cash.
Something I'll never remember or never forget. Yes.
It's certainly something you'll never forget.
Oh my God, that's so great.
You really don't know?
I really don't know.
Okay, good.
Okay,
That's
well,
how it should be.
now I'm gonna have to find
Okay.
out. All right, people. Amy Corr is gonna go find out what this chocolate milkshake is. I think I'm scared. On that note, Ari, thanks so much for joining me today. And it was awesome to learn a little bit about you, learn more about Wiener Circle. You are making things happen with, but thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, awesome. And to all of you out there, thanks so much for joining us. We'll see you next time on Corr Values. Thanks for listening to this episode of Corr Values. If you loved the episode, be sure to hit the follow button so you don't miss the next one. You can also connect with me on Instagram and LinkedIn for more insights on all things real estate and real life. And always, as a friendly reminder, you got this.